Wake up, real estate. What's working Wednesday? I don't know. Let's find out together. I've got a couple of things. I know Ryan has a couple of things. Ryan's a little under the weather, so we're not gonna wear him out too much here this morning. If this is your first or your 250th episode, thank you for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. If you listen on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please rate and review the show there. Any feedback is appreciated, one way or the other. Ryan, social post. I know you mentioned you had one of those.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. So what's not working now, probably, I'm just assuming, I don't have data on this, but probably what's not working now is trying to sell your house yourself in this market environment. It's probably not working so well. Great. So this is some images that GPT made me. The social post is that I saw these two clowns while driving around town the other day. I just asked for a funny, sad for sale by owner standing outside a house, and it gave me a clown with like some cartoons in the background. So I just went with it.
So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or some audio only version, you definitely have to go find the video version of this to see these Chat GPT created sad clowns trying to sell their house
with for sale by owner signs. It's spelled for sale by owner correctly. I was having trouble.
So I was going to ask, is there any misspellings? Because last week, Ryan was using Chat GPT to make images.
It kept spelling the sign wrong.
Yeah, it had things spelled wrong on it. So that's great.
So feel free to grab these images off my Facebook page if you want. And I just, basically the pitch is, if you're trying to sell your house yourself, you're probably figuring out it's not as easy as it was the past few years when the market was on fire. These days, getting a property sold for top dollar requires a little more pricing, marketing, and negotiating know-how. And then I do the call to action to call other agents in my office because I don't want any listings. But you should probably do a call to action to call you, not somebody else, not Andre Aragon. I hope you're watching, Andre.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So good. Right. So good. All of the social posts, you can just go find them on Ryan's Facebook page. Mm-hmm. B, I think Mike still is pretty diligent about adding those to the Wake Up site, wakeup.realestate. You can create a free account and check out lots of great stuff, including social posts of the day and scripts and templates like the one we shared yesterday. Look at that. Mike is. I'm telling you what.
He is on top of it.
He is Johnny on the spot, which I'm not surprised. But there's lots of great resources in there. And I mentioned this probably last week or the week before. I don't even know. Maybe I mentioned this when Ryan wasn't on the show. Quite honestly, we had hundreds of agents paying us $100 or $200 a month for stuff that we're now just giving to you at wakeup.realestate. This is many years ago, Ryan and I. So just trying to help, just trying to help agents get more business, generate more leads, etc. One thing I meant to mention yesterday for Traffic Tuesday, I do have an ad running. I boosted my personal profile, and one of the options or objectives is simply profile views.
Yeah.
And so I set one up at $1 a day to friends and friends of friends. And I forget how long I set it for, but I set it for $1 a day. What's that?
Are you making friends?
Well, that I don't know. I haven't paid close attention to that. But what I do know is I'm getting people to look at my profile pretty cheap. I don't know what it'll turn into, if anything, but by pretty cheap, let's put a number on it. Hold on here. It is, where is it? Well, maybe I only did a short test because it must have run out. So hold on here. Completed. I spent $4.96 and got 45 link clicks to my profile. So 11 cents a click. So I think I'm just going to create another one, and I might just run it for 365 days at $1 a day. $1 a day for people looking at my profile. My profile being optimized for, people that might want to do business. I think there's a lot worse ways you could spend $1 a day.
Yeah, just to stay top of mind with people in your sphere.
Yeah, just to remind them, right? Because their situations can change on a daily basis. Their motivation, their needs, their wants, etc. They hear a coworker talking about refinancing or buying an investment property or whatever. And I'll record. Here's what I'll do. So I tested it. I'll record myself making another one and setting up for 365 just to show what that looks like. But it's literally, you're just choosing. It's just like the objective you choose is profile views, I think is what it is. But I'll record all of that. We'll add that as a little bonus tutorial.
I've been doing these too. I did one yesterday for a recruiting postcard example, which I guess I should show you guys. A recruiting gift card bribe. I'll show you in a second.
I did see that on your Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, that fits the show today. But yeah, it is interesting. So I spent $14 in the last day. In this case, I chose an audience that I wanted to target. I chose some interest, Josh. But I got 10 landing page views for $13.98, which is about $1.30. And this was a thanks focused ad. That's really cheap to get somebody to get to our website. I'm happy with $1 or so for the click. The actual bribe card, just in the spirit of what's working now, what I'm working on now, is this idea, and that is not it. I have to try to bring up the image here. This idea that if you're doing agent attraction or recruiting, that why not just bribe a meeting? And I'm going to try to just go to my profile here on LinkedIn because I think I have a better image. That's why I'm kind of scrambling to get you this. I didn't have it ready. But basically, hey, is there any chance you consider switching real estate offices this year? We've got some interesting benefits and a great comp structure for producers like you. You can get more specific based on your company. I was creating this as like a general just idea. So I can get very specific. If you'd be willing to schedule a confidential 15-minute Zoom chat to learn more, scan the QR code on this card now. To make it worth your while, we'll instantly send you a $25 Starbucks gift card as soon as you schedule. So I don't know, Josh, could you see just cold mailing this to agents at specific companies that you want to attract to your team?
Sure. I don't see why not. I don't know that I'd even have to go to the 25.
Yeah. 10.
$10. Because people, I would guess very few people would simply do it just for the $10 gift card.
No,
in other words, if they take the offer, they're at least open to the idea of making a switch.
And the idea here is that you would have your Calendly link. They'd hit your Calendly link. It would redirect and give them the gift card right away. And Josh, if they no show on you in real estate, you know who they are. You just stalk them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not hard to find.
Yeah. And you also want to optimize your Calendly for reminders, right? You can have your Calendly link optimized for text and email reminders to help with no shows. And this would be an example, Ryan, where you'd be gating, right? You'd be gating the gift card, which means they have to register. They have to schedule a time first, and then they get the gift card for scheduling a time, which is something, Ryan, we're also testing for a local or a broker here in PA who's doing seller seminars. Are we not doing?
Yes. I'll show some of his stuff in a few days. I want to make sure he's okay with me doing it. But I'm working on something similar for in-person home seminars. Yep. Ernest, your comment, it's funny because that's actually why I was doing this. So Ernest is saying it'd be cool if you could pull the data in about production of an agent. Why not? If you use one of those services that gives you production data, you can merge the data into the card. And you actually use the data to decide who you're going to send a darn card to.
Right. So you can use the data in two ways. Number one, to make sure that you're sending to people that are actually producing. And number two, you can use it. This ties into something from yesterday's show, more custom field options available now. And it's funny that you mentioned that. MMI is a data provider along these lines. There's also Showing Time has an arm, market. I forget what it's called.
They're selling agent data, like production data.
Yeah. And I used to buy it. I forget what it's called. I'll look it up for tomorrow for Tech Tip Thursday. But there's another one too that NEXA just struck up a deal with that
Yeah,
I
find
have
that.
on my to-do list today to check out and see like how their pricing works, etc. And that one in particular has the data for both real estate agents and loan officers. So I'm curious about that one to
I know
see.
at least here in Florida, there's a guy named Sean Summers. He runs Agent 3000, but he also has a product called Broker Command that
Okay,
has all of the Florida MLS data. And I think he's in other states too. But if you're in Florida, you
interesting.
can check this out too.
Yeah.
So,
Giselle, good morning.
so just to close
Ernest
the loop,
says, go ahead, Ryan.
I'm
Sorry.
cutting you off. Sorry. Just to close the loop on that, the bribing is a surgical way. You don't have to just do it for recruiting. Josh, I think it could also really work to send to business owners and offer investment property,
Sure.
the chance to discuss building their investment portfolio. Lots of uses for that. Sorry, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, and also 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, Jordan and I talked about business funding options. You could use it to business owners for that too, right? A Zoom about working capital for your business. You know, are you laughing at Ernest or?
No, I'm laughing because we got a Twitch guy. The Twitch guy's back.
Oh, the
I'm so
Twitch guy's
happy.
back. Yeah, Bush 1G. What's up?
What's up?
Anyway, Ernest says, I love the new custom fields because I have a Zap set up now that stores the length of ownership and value. It's sending market update postcards every quarter now. A Zap updates, a Google Sheet which updates. Ernest is, he's pretty advanced with some of this ninja stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The homeowner's value and length of home ownership. I love it. I love it. And there was one other thing. So there's a couple of things here, actually. Ernest says, I'm running YouTube ads for my new listing here in San Antonio. It's getting some good traction and even had an agent ask me why her client saw the home for sale on YouTube. So Ernest, I know we try to pull you in often. Could we get you on an upcoming show to show what you're doing there? Here, my 2 cents on this is, even if it doesn't get anything tangible client wise for you, that is another thing that you can then demonstrate to other potential sellers or listings that you do to maximize exposure. And so I think that's a wonderful idea. One of the agents who I was going to talk about something that's working now for him, one of the agents in my sales organization in Ohio, he just had a new listing go live, and he's doing the same thing but on Facebook. And I might hit him up and say, hey, you might want to also run the video on YouTube as well. Are you Ernest? I'm curious. Are you running it as a pre-roll? Would that be it's in stream, or what's the other one? Discovery. Are you running it as like a pre-roll in stream or discovery, or maybe both? And then Alina, I think I'm saying that right. I hope so. Says, speaking of $1 a day, are you guys familiar with Dennis Yu $1 a day strategy? And if so, can you dedicate an episode on that? So I heard Dennis talk about this years ago now. I can't remember it exactly. But I'm open to reviewing it. Quite honestly, like I think we've been covering a lot of it, but maybe not necessarily like his $1 a day. But we've been talking about top of funnel and retargeting, etc. A great deal. But if you can send, I don't even know where to find that anymore. But if you can send whatever you have on it, I'll take a look and see how that might.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, you're basically talking about getting a lot of impressions cheap with social ads. I
Right.
think, right? You spend
Yep.
$1 and you get what, 50, 100 people to take a look at you. Kind
of. You know what? Hold on. Ernest said he can pop on now.
You got to send him a link.
Yeah. How do I? Invite. Here we go.
Mhm.
I'm gonna invite Ernest now. Ryan, while I go and do that, did you have anything?
Well, yesterday I teased the Miro board I have here, so let's bring that.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that. So Ernest, I'm sending you the link to hop on if you'd like. And in the meantime, Ryan, go ahead and.
I'm finding myself using this a lot, and one of the things that inspired me, we have our nicheful thinking kind of Renos video that outlines building a growth system for real estate. And then I happened to have joined Ryan Dice's digital marketer mastermind a couple of weeks ago, and he was more or less doing very similar thing, but in a way more refined way. And one of the exercises that he was running me through for the project I'm working on was this idea of building out your map of the different phases of your funnel, basically, of your growth engine.
Right.
So I'm trying to like follow his instructions and stuff. And like, I wish he was saying just use sticky notes in person and, you know, do it with your team and all this stuff. But I was like, can I do a sticky note kind of visual mind mapping thing online? And I found Miro.com. I don't know if you've ever used this, Josh.
No, that was the first I had seen it when you messaged me over the weekend.
Yeah, so I'll plug that. You can get a free account, and I just upgraded because I wanted more than 3 boards, but you can use the thing free forever just for a few of these. But what I really liked was I was able to visually lay out that wakeup.realestate/Renos video that outlines the real estate funnel. And you can see here it's got all of the different sections: traffic sources, lead magnets, automated follow-ups, manual income, maximizing follow-up, sending cool stuff or whatever in the right side. And what I'm going to be doing here, doing it with a friend of mine local in Central PA, is turning these from red to yellow as you're working on them, and then green as they're live and going. So it's just a nice kind of project management tool for launching your renos. So anyone who wants, so what I'll probably be doing is sharing this board, just a viewable version that you can copy and use if you want to, next to that Renos video. But I just figured I'd share it as a what I'm working on now thing.
Cool. Yeah, love it. Love it.
Yeah.
One thing, Ernest popped on here, but one thing I wanted to share. I'm not going to share the ads because I didn't ask him, but we've been working on a campaign for Greg, the same fella I mentioned earlier, to get him VA borrowers, VA clients. And we've tried a bunch of different things. And, we've had some things that have kind of worked, but we finally have something that's really gotten traction. And he reached out early this morning or late yesterday asking, how can we pour gasoline on the fire, right? How can we do more of what's working? And so the 3 things that we implemented that I just thought I'd share just for folks who might be in the same boat. Number 1, slightly increasing the budget on the one that's working. Okay, this is a Facebook lead ad. So slightly increasing, not going hog wild, taking it from $10 a day to $11 a day. Okay, just small increments. Number 2, duplicating the one that's working, changing nothing, just literally just duplicating it. Can we get another one going that gets the similar results, right? And double our lead flow. And number 3, he said, we could also, like, he's targeting one geographic area in the greater Cincinnati area. And he said, can we target this other area? So the last thing we did was duplicate the one that was working and just change the location targeting on it.
Fresh market.
So I'll have more info on that as we get more data, and I'll confirm with Greg that I can share. But it is the style of ad that I've been talking about on the last few Wednesdays, which is a Reels style video lead ad, And so just for food for thought. Ernest, thanks for hopping on. Very impromptu. So you have a listing video that you are running as a YouTube ad. And you had said in the comments, it's a responsive video ad. That must be a new designation. I haven't run a YouTube video ad in a while. They must have changed the wording on it, maybe?
No, so it's basically its own campaign style now. They've kind of ripped it out. Before, like when you set up a search ad, you could also set up like a display responsive ad that also has videos. But if you're looking to run some low budget search-based ads, YouTube ads are the way to go. So every listing that I get, I don't really try and cut corners. I do professional photography. I do a video walkthrough tour of it. as well. So that's basically what I'm using to run this YouTube ad. And this is really kind of like a back door into, let me share my screen here, into, you can see that, right?
Not yet.
Now we can. Yep, now we
Okay.
can.
So it's like a back door into search ads, and you could actually run these at a super low cost. So you could see like 4,100 impressions, 402 video engagements. You could see we've had over 60 clicks at an average cost of about 4 cents per click. This has been running roughly for the last 5 days. So that's about 5 days in results at only $4 a day. But the really cool thing with this is when you actually go to set this up, you're going to create a campaign. And then when you create this campaign, there's going to be you could either do leads or website traffic. Leads is just basically going to get you your conversion that you want. And when you click on continue, down here at the bottom, there's this video option in the campaign type that you're going to go ahead and select. That'll enable you to build, and let me go into here and show you kind of what it looks like. That'll enable you to build an ad that looks exactly like this. And the really cool thing about these ads is they have what are called audience segments. I don't know if you've heard that terminology or seen it before.
Yeah.
But with audience segments, you'll be able to essentially determine who you want to see this ad. So just so you can see a preview of what this looks like, it has different types of formats. So of course it'll show up like this where they could skip the ad. We could also preview this on YouTube. It has your call to action. You can see the video comes in really nice like that. But basically what I'm doing is in the audience segments, we're essentially having an audience of people who've searched keywords like San Antonio homes for sale, San Antonio houses for sale. I have that queued up as a segment to look for in that audience itself. So I'm trying to figure out, I think it's in ad groups. If I go here and then I go to edit, maybe no, I need to be able to get to the settings for this.
For the ad?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Here we go. So campaigns. Once you're in here, you're going to see, I believe it's under additional campaigns. There should be an option in here for you to be able to set up that audience segment. I'm not seeing it for
I think it's at the ad group level sometimes, but they couldn't make it any more confusing than they do.
Yeah, it's super confusing. But inside of this audience segment, here we go, campaign settings possibly. I think that's where I just was, but
location.
Trying to find it here, but you will have the ability to type in those keywords when it comes to
so it's way easier when you're creating the ad. It's when you're trying to go back and edit and find it, as Ernest is trying to do right now, that they make it incredibly confusing and difficult. But when you're actually creating the ad up front, it's at least a little bit more obvious, some of that selection process and things that you can include or exclude even.
So what objective are you running this?
Okay, here's the audience here. So we'll have our location set, but we could also tee up our segments, right? So like interested audience and demographics, you can see who we have in there. And then in here as well, when you click on here and you go to create a new audience segment, this is where you'll get to add those Google search terms, right? So you could type in things like San Antonio homes for sale, San Antonio houses for sale. This is kind of like if you were setting up a search ad where you would type in those keywords that you want to help identify this audience based off of. What was that, Ryan?
Oh, I didn't know what type of, when you created the ad, as Josh asked before, is it a skip ad? Maybe I missed that detail.
Yeah. So the video ads that they'll run are skip ads when you use the YouTube option there. They don't really give you an option. I know when you were talking about like in.
Well, there are discovery ads too that run more like on the sidebar.
Right. Yeah, and those you could run in stream and make like non-skippable or skippable. These are in fact skippable, but you will see. They do produce some pretty good results.
So
And
one question on that, the clicks, that's someone clicking to your listing, like the listing specifically on your website. Like what is, or is
right,
that
yeah,
them clicking to
that's
watch
them.
the video?
That's them clicking on this learn more button right here.
Yeah, that's great.
So when they're watching the video, it's literally pulling the traffic off. The nice thing about this too is that you won't get the click if they're watching like on TV. But since these are video ads, technically they will appear on their television sets as well. And that's where I go into the agent that's actually writing a cash offer today mentioned that her buyer had seen it on her TV when her kids or whoever were watching YouTube. I think it was the lady watching YouTube.
That's great.
But since she had typed in San Antonio homes for sale, she fell into my custom audience already because it's automatically looking for those and they're seeing this property be advertised. This is a wow factor with, sellers too. They absolutely love this because not a lot of agents know how to do this. So if you could really dial this in and be able to show them the type of exposure that you're going to generate them. I mean, like I said, this ad's only running at $4 a day. So it's not like I'm running a super big budget. That's like $50 a month. If I were to crank this up to like $10 a day, I would be getting, even more results. And you can see the interaction rate's almost 10% there. So
what's your cost per view, which is they watch it more than 25 seconds, right?
Let me see. I got to add that column into here.
Yep.
Earned views, 25%. So 4% of them watched it 75% of the time, and 3% of them watch it 100% of the time. So out of the 60 clicks, what is that, like 1 to 2 people have watched the entire video?
Your CP view column is a little blurry for me. The average CPV
cost per view is 4 cents.
Beautiful. So for 4 cents,
42 cents.
That's okay. You're getting somebody to watch basically 30 seconds about that listing. And I don't know if you share that with the seller. You probably share the raw impression count because it sounds more impressive. But I mean, just think about the exposure you're getting, and you're just demonstrating to the market that you are going to do more stuff.
More and more people watch YouTube on their TV, which means, like Ernest already indicated, they see it on their TV. I actually I've had 1 or 2 people the last couple of weeks mention that they watch the replays of the show on their TV.
I do.
I do too. Show, so. I watch all my. I don't use Netflix hardly ever, but at night after all the stuff is done and you get that hour or two to yourself, it's just the YouTube app on the TV.
Yeah, and I mean it plays really nicely. Like, if you have, and you might even have a video without music. It might just be like a hard intro of you walking into the house, whatever the case might be. You can make them totally more engaging. Just make sure that they're full widescreen. They're not vertical for like a reel or anything like that. So you don't have any like black spaces on the sides of the video. Make sure it's a widescreen, and make sure you're shooting it with like a high quality camera, because that's what's ultimately gonna grab their attention, right? But yeah, these things are performing exceptionally well for me. I do this I actually do it for all my listings now. And we'll continue to do it for all my listings, just because now we're getting some positive feedback, and not a lot of agents are out there doing this type of marketing. So
it's in your listing presentation.
Yes, it's in the listing presentation. Aside from like the social ads, we still run this same video with like a lead form strategy on Facebook and Instagram. And then of course now we're running this on YouTube, which we're getting even better engagement for. So everybody's on YouTube nowadays. Not everybody has YouTube Premium, so they're still getting those ads across their displays, whether that be on their computer or on their TV. This is just a great way to expose that listing and get more eyes on it.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
I have a call at the bottom of the hour here, so we're gonna come in for a landing. Ernest, thanks for hopping on last minute and being an open book on that. I know that got a little bit technical, but we do have some tutorials on creating these types of ad campaigns, etc. Now, some of it may be outdated. Exactly what you click here, there, or wherever the case may be. But what I think maybe we'll do on our mastermind later this afternoon is I'll make one of these, like Ernest was demonstrating, with some content that I already have created, just to walk through those steps. So you can join us later at wakeup.realestate/mm, wakeup.realestate/mm, And if you can't join us at 1 Eastern, we do record those. We add them to the members area at wakeup.realestate under member resources. Those mastermind replays are there. Further housekeeping items. Tomorrow is a Tech Tip Thursday. We'll share some of those data sources that we were kind of briefly discussing as far as real estate agent production, and even the one that I mentioned on LO production as well. We'll have our normal show on Friday as well for some follow-up talk. And as always, if you have anybody that has any financing needs, whether they're looking to purchase, refi, or maybe just need a HELOC, send them my way. You can go to growwithjosh.com. You can call, text, email me. I'll get them connected with the right person on our team, depending on what they're looking to do. And if you're not using justsold.info, powered by thanks.io, you're missing out. You should definitely check that out and give it a whirl. And they've now made it so that you don't even need a recently listed or sold property to use the engine. You can get started with geo farming simply and easily with justsold.info.
Nice plug, Josh.
Yes.
See you
like
guys.
I've done that a time or two.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully we'll see you this afternoon at 1 Eastern. Wakeup.realestate/MM. If not, we'll see you back here tomorrow. And Ryan, hope you feel better soon.
Thanks. Bye.